on earth does the city that experienced the biggest Islamic terrorist attack in American history vote for a Muslim mayor? And now they want to complain about it.
The mayor, with the greatest respect, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Giving only two options. You're saying if we don't tax the rich, then I got to increase property taxes. Zoran Mondani, you are out your goddamn mind.
Oh yeah, tax the rich. That sounds good until the rich leave. Now you're the rich and they tax you. But this shouldn't even have happened in the first place. Did we forget? You remember this place? These were the Twin Towers. How could you forget? You can't trust these people ever again. You don't vote for this. When I was growing up, it felt like the United States. It's never felt more divided than ever. You remember when them Twin Towers fell? We never felt more united. You look around and it just felt like, yo, we got to stick together. We Americans, like, we can't let these people do this to us. We all on the same team. And then here comes Obama, just rage baiting everybody, making everyone feel like they're being attacked. Screwed everything up. It's never been the same. We got to get back to being united. Black people, white people, Asians, Latinos, stick together, man. Come on now. All these people come in here and break us up. Stop calling conservative blacks coons and start listening to what we're saying. We're on the same team. Now you got this taking place all over the city. What the hell is this?
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم.
They're saying it's America. Did you know that this is America? This is America. That's why we're praying here, because this is America. It's a free country, isn't it? So we can pray over here, isn't it? Do I have permits, don't I? Yeah. Okay then, so we can pray over here. La ilaha illallah.
Well, at least Florida's doing things right. I heard they just got rid of property taxes. At this point in New York, I don't know what to tell you. All I can say is say your prayers. You know the prayers I'm talking about.
Mecca lecca high Mecca, a hiney ho. Mecca lecca high Mecca, hiney ho. Mecca lecca high Mecca, hiney ho.
All right. Good morning. Peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless, and I'm back with another video. And as the title says, elections have consequences. Virginia and New York find out. Sorry about the beginning here. It was kind of freezing up. I don't know, my connection is a little bad, but we gonna get that up. We gonna get that this morning. I got a great video prepared for y'all. And as the title says, New York and Virginia F around and find out. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because we told people, especially here in Chicago, you know, with groups like Chicago Flips Red and things of that nature, that the Democrats' talking points and their policies always tend to backfire. They always talking about tax the rich, that backfires. Because when they have, 9 times out of 10, the rich people in any city or state are already paying 50% of the taxes of that city or state. So if you're talking about adding more taxes than the people that are already taxed the most, 9 times out of 10, they're going to move around. You know what I'm saying? And then that tax burden ends up falling on the middle class and the poor. We've seen it happen here in Chicago, where they raised over 100% of property taxes, even though Brandon Johnson ran on the campaign talking about he was going to not raise our property taxes. But in Chicago, everybody property taxes that are in specific areas, black and brown communities, not only doubled, tripled in a lot of cases. So we tried to warn New York specifically, like, oh, hold on with the Zoran Mamdani dude. He talking the same talk that Brandon Johnson is talking. And I did a video, you go back a few months ago, called Zoran Mamdani is Brandon Johnson 2.0. And in Virginia, they did the same thing with this lady, Abigail Spanberger. She was talking the same type of talking points about taxing the rich, and she had an opponent. Now, Abigail Spanberger is a white lady. Her opponent was Winsome Sears. They were running for governor, and Winsome Sears is a black woman, immigrant from Jamaica, served in the military, a conservative black woman, and she would have been a much better pick for Virginia. But we're going to see how Virginia effed around and found out as well. But before we get into that, you know, we always have to go ahead and flash this here and get it out the way. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right. We got that out the way. So I think this is important to talk about this right now with midterms around the corner, because we cannot allow the Democrats to regain the House and Senate. We have to continue on this path to fix the dirt that they dropped from the last administration, right? So we have to let these situations like what's happening, unfortunately, in Virginia and in New York serve as a reminder of why we have to stay away from the policies of the Democratic Party, because they are destroying these cities and states. Now, for context, let's go here and talk about Abigail Spanberger, the new governor, Democratic governor of New York. And when she was running for office, when she was running for governor, and, you know, get a little context on what she was saying about affordability and all these promises she was making. Let's get to it.
I'm Abigail Spanberger. I grew up walking the halls of Tucker High School. After 9/11, I walked the halls of CIA as a case officer working counterterrorism. And then I walked the halls of Congress, where despite the dysfunction, I got things done and was named the most bipartisan member of Congress from Virginia. As governor, I'll work to lower costs and make sure our schools prepare all our kids for jobs of the future.
Spanberger for governor. Service. Country. Commonwealth.
I'm Abigail Spanberger.
So there you go, Abigail Spanberger. My bad. Abigail Spanberger. Now she's the new governor that just won, Democrat. You know, she won over Winsome Sears, right? So we're gonna bring that down. Now she was talking about affordability, all of that, and when she get into office, we're gonna find out it's the total opposite, right? But before we do that, before we go to where we find out, well, no, we're gonna get to where we find out, and then I'm gonna show you her opponent, who they should have elected. You know, Winsome Sears. So she won, Abigail won, and here is the results of her winning. Right here, let's go to this clip.
Thank you. Well, 7 News has been reporting on dozens of new taxes and tax increases being proposed by Democrats in the Virginia legislature. And this comes as the Commonwealth has a nearly $3 billion budget surplus. After days of reaching out to Democratic lawmakers, our Nick Minock is getting answers about where that money could go.
The list of new and higher taxes being proposed in the opening days of the legislative session is long and varied, but after days of silence from Democratic leadership in Richmond, I finally heard back from Senate Leader Scott Surville. From Uber rides and food delivery to home repairs and dog grooming, Virginia Democratic lawmakers have proposed a wide-ranging pile of new or increased taxes on everyday Virginians. Virginia Democratic Senate Leader Scott Surville introduced some of these proposals and defended others. When I asked about the state's enormous $2.7 billion surplus, Surville said that's going to be spent to cover Medicaid costs. He then explained the new taxes are intended to raise money to pay for government-subsidized affordable housing, schools, and financing Metro.
Affordable housing is probably going to be a big priority. The cost of housing, especially in Northern Virginia, has just gone out of control. And in the Northern Virginia area, we really have to focus on solving Metro's funding crisis. We pumped an extra $120 million or so per year of general fund money into Metro over the last 2 years. We need to come up with a permanent funding solution for that so that people can affordably use transit to get around Northern Virginia to get to work. And it's not just the train, it's also the buses. So those are some of the priorities we're talking about.
Now, those are some of Democrats' spending priorities. We have not heard cost-cutting priorities yet. Now, of course, all of this will have to get through a committee vote, and Governor Abigail Spanberger will have a big say on if any of this becomes law. We have.
All right, so we see that right there, right? So all of these taxes, see what they do is they run on the campaign telling you how they gonna make life more affordable, but it's like almost instantly when they get in office, they come with all these new taxes, and we see the pattern. It's a pattern. All these Democratic elected officials have a pattern, you know, and it's all a campaign of talking about how we gonna tax the rich. Once they get to saying that, you already know that is gonna backfire. That's how we able to point it out. Okay, she's a far left Democrat socialist that's gonna destroy her city or state, right? Now, all these tax proposals, if this is the lady that the Republican, Winsome Sears, that she was lieutenant governor. Lieutenant governor, and she, you know, ran for governor up against Abigail Spanberger. And just to give y'all a little bit of history on her, I want to bring up a clip of her when she was running 5 years ago for lieutenant governor, which she won that election. But this is just I thought this was a great video, and it really highlighted her very well. So I want to give y'all this video to check out.
Let me tell you about me. My name is Winsome Sears, and I served in the United States Marine Corps. I was the first Republican to win a seat in the House of Delegates in a majority Black district since 1865. In the General Assembly, I had 100% pro-life and pro-Second Amendment record. I became the national chairman of Black Americans to re-elect President Trump, and we turned out more Black voters for any Republican president since Reagan. Now our country's falling into chaos. But I still believe in the America that has accepted me as an immigrant and gave us a shot at the American dream. I was raised in an America where your character mattered more than your political party, where we worked together to build great things and to become that shining city on a hill. I built my small business here in Virginia, and I believe in a Virginia based on freedom, community, and faith. My name is Winsome Sears, and I'm running to be your next lieutenant governor so that the American dream can still be available for the next generation.
All right, so that's Winsome Sears, right? That's when she was running for lieutenant governor. Once again, she won that election. Now, she ran for governor and lost against Abigail Spanberger. Now, what's funny about Winsome Sears and the Democrats is this. She checks a lot of boxes. She's a female, she's Black, and she's an immigrant. She's from Jamaica. You would think Black people would want to support her, but quite the obvious. Barack Obama came out here and scolded Black people for not supporting Kamala Harris when she was running against Donald Trump in the presidential election. But when it came to Abigail Spanberger versus Winsome Sears, he came out here and endorsed the white lady over the black lady. What a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like totally hypocritical. And now we see what's going on in Virginia with all the new additional taxes, right? So I want to bring up another video to further illustrate the taxes that they have, you know, and the reaction of the people that are in Virginia to the new taxes. They are ticked off. So this brother here is going to break it down real nice. So let's get into it.
New governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, ran for that office as a moderate, but the executive order that she talked about is state and local police not cooperating with ICE to get criminal illegal immigrants. There's also a list of, now the Democrats control the legislature, that a number of bills that have been put forward. You can't read it.
And once again, all these Democrats, they want to tax the citizens and she want to give $1.2 billion to illegal immigrants. But you add all these taxes on regular citizens. Just reading this right here, and I'm gonna play it and let them talk. But it says, just in, Virginians are shocked that new moderate, she's not a moderate, Democrat Governor Abigail Spanberger is moving to raise taxes on virtually everything, give illegals free school, enable election fraud, stricter gun control, and abortions. This is all Democratic policies that have ruined cities and states and have devastated American citizens financially. And I'm saying, now as the midterms are getting closer, I know a lot of people are confused. We have to let these elections that have happened already serve as a reminder of why we're trying to get away from this. You know what I'm saying? We can't let these people get back in power.
Here, but let me just go through it. Sales tax on Uber Eats, Amazon. Sales tax on admissions to a variety of businesses. Create 2 new higher tax brackets. 10% tax bracket for anyone making over $1 million. 3.8 investment tax. Raise the hotel tax. New personal property tax on landscaping equipment. Ban gas-powered leaf blowers. Guarantee illegal aliens free education. Make it illegal to approach somebody at an abortion.
Wait, whoa, what did you just say? Guarantee illegal aliens free education? And yet they're taxing the hell out of all of y'all in Virginia to give to the illegal immigrants for their schooling. Oh, man.
Clinic. Extend the time absentee ballots can be received after Election Day. Allow people to cast their votes electronically through the internet. Expand ranked choice voting. Extend the deadline for ballot curing. Redact the addresses of political candidates from FOIAs. Add Virginia to the National Popular Vote Compact. Make it illegal to hand count ballots. $500 sales tax on firearm suppressors. Assault weapons and large capacity magazine ban. 11% sales tax on all firearms and ammunition. Prohibit outdoor shooting of a firearm less than 5 acres. Lower the criminal penalties for robbery. Ban the arrest of illegal aliens in courthouses. Remove mandatory minimum sentences. Allow localities to install speed cameras, and replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day.
So basically,
this are all her policies. You see how ridiculous this is? This is why we have to highlight this stuff with midterms come around the corner. If these people can get more governors and mayors in these cities and states, and we vote for this, and then go out here and protest later after we get taxed, after our property taxes get raised over 130% like they did in Chicago. Y'all ain't learned from what happened in Chicago. Y'all ain't learned. Y'all ain't listening to Chicago Flips Red. You know, you can hate Donald Trump all you want to, but at the end of the day, local and state has way more an effect on you, more immediate effect on you than federal from the president coming. Whatever Trump doing, it's going to take a while for you to feel the effects of what he's doing. But this local and state stuff, these governors and these mayors and these aldermen and all of these people that are in your local, state, and county, this is more important because these people have an immediate effect on you. She got in office a couple months ago, and they already feeling the effects of what she's doing. Immediately.
They're trying to make this just like New York City. Just like New York City. Because New York City is already dealing with damn near speed cameras everywhere, the jail reform. So basically, you have someone that commits a heinous crime, they're out the next day back on the streets. That's what they're proposing. This is what y'all voted for. Like, I don't understand why y'all just don't get it yet. Why don't y'all get that these Democrats are straight up lying to y'all? Because this is not what Abigail Spanberger campaigned on. She campaigned on basically lowering the cost of living, which is what every single Democrat says that they want to do. And then they end up doing the opposite. No, we have a perfect example of this with Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago. He also campaigned on not raising people's taxes. But then the migrant crisis happened, and he funded all the migrants, gave them housing and food and
right. They gave them. Listen, we could stop there right there, but that's basically what I said. They give all the resources to illegal immigrants, while at the same time taxing you into oblivion. Now, Trump and MAGA and the Republicans, for the most part, are saying America first. Right? We see what's happening over there in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? I could play more clips of the people actually speaking, but you know, for time purposes, we're gonna move on to New York because the same thing is happening. See, what I'm trying to illustrate here is a pattern of behavior. Elections have consequences. You can sit it out. You can vote Democrat, but then you can't complain about it later. Going out here protesting, that's reactionary. We have to be proactive. We have to have a proactive mindset to not even be put in these situations. And I keep telling people from Chicago, if you keep voting blue no matter who, they're going to kick you out your city and your state and give it to illegal immigrants. These people have lost their everlasting mind as it pertains to illegal immigration because they need them for their vote to stay in power. To the fact where in Minnesota they will overlook billions of dollars in fraud because they need their vote. We living in unprecedented times. Now I want to go to New York right quick and show Zohran Mamdani. He won in an election in New York. And his campaign promises when he first came out here, how he gonna make it more affordable and all that. You feel me? But let's get to that.
New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. Every politician says New York is the greatest city on the globe. But what good is that if no one can afford to live here? City Hall is engulfed in corruption.
Unscientific.
The cost of living is the real crisis. New Yorkers are being crushed by rent and childcare. The slowest buses in the nation are robbing us of our time and our sanity. Working people are being pushed out of the city they built. A mayor could change this, and that's why I'm running. I'll make buses fast and free.
So I can just get where I'm going.
I'll make childcare available to all New Yorkers at no cost.
I want to raise my kid in New York.
And I'll freeze the rent for every single rent.
Now, you hear what this dude's saying that he gonna do. This stuff is impossible. How are you gonna freeze the rent when landlords gotta stay in a position where they can upkeep their property? So they gonna have to go if the price of living is going up, they gonna have to up the rent. You see what I'm saying? How you gonna have a free bus system, free healthcare. All this free shit is a fragment of this man's imagination. You can't do this without taxing people into oblivion. So if it's gonna be free, yeah, you're gonna pay for your own free bus rides. You're gonna pay for free healthcare. There's nothing in life is free. Nothing. Let's run it back a little bit. What he talking about he gonna make so free. Now, this was a year ago.
Why I'm running. I'll make buses fast and free.
So I can just get where I'm going.
I'll make childcare available to all New Yorkers at no cost.
I want to raise my kid in New York.
And I'll freeze the rent for every single rent stabilized tenant.
These Eric Adams rent hikes are killing us.
Life in this city doesn't need to be this hard. But politicians like Eric Adams and Andrew Cuomo want it to be this way. They care about their donors. They care about themselves. They don't.
Now, let's be clear. The mayor that just got out of office in New York was another Democrat, Eric Adams. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, why he talk about, but his opponent was Cuomo. Cuomo is a Republican. He's not, I mean, he's been governor in New York. He's not the best, but he would have been a way better choice. That's who Zohran Mamdani went up against. For the most part, was Cuomo. It was him and Cuomo. Cuomo, I'm not a fan of Cuomo, but he's way better than this guy. This guy, Zohran Mamdani, he never even worked a regular job before in his life. He never even owned a business, nothing. He comes from a wealthy family in Uganda. He's an immigrant from out the country, obviously, and came the mayor of New York with Street. You cannot come into New York City with a socialist communist mindset trying to implement free shit. That's not going to work in New York City. That's not how it operates. Now, I thought, and I tried to give Mamdani some props at one point because he went up there and chopped it up with Trump. But he's still on this goofy stuff, talking about free buses, and then, you know, I guess that was just for politics when he went and chopped it up with Trump. I don't know, you know, what happened, but yeah, let's let him continue to talk.
Don't care about you, the working class who keep this city running. This campaign is for every New Yorker who believes in the dignity of their neighbors. And the government's job is to actually make our lives better. We can afford to bring down the rent, have world-class public transit, and make it easier to raise a family. We can do all of that and so much more because this is New York. We can afford to dream.
So they sell you a dream, right? They sell you a dream, and New York fell for the dream. They fell for this mess. And I'm telling you, I was trying to warn people, like, man, y'all better not let that dude get in office. And they thought I was being, oh, you being racist, or you hate it. No, I don't hate Muslims. I got a lot of friends that's Muslim. That's not what I'm saying. This dude policy is the same. It mirrors Brandon Johnson and all the other, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We could go down the list and how it is detrimental to the American taxpayer. I saw it a mile away, right? And tried to warn them. But see, here go one of his biggest policies that I knew was BS from day one, was the free buses. How you gonna have free buses when the money that people pay on the bus rides is how you maintain the buses and all of this? The maintenance of the bus comes from people that pay fares. How you gonna have free buses? Where the money gonna come from? But let's get off into this because I think this young lady broke it down very well. Let me bring up bigger. And here we go.
One of Zohran Mamdani's biggest campaign promises before he became the mayor of New York City was free bus fares. By the way, this was sort of shot down by Kathy Hochul, the governor, several times because she's like, look, I'm all about getting the bus fare down for people. But the reality is, you know, the bus fare is what pays for the buses. When you pay bus fare, a large portion of that is what pays to keep that public transportation going. Well, guess what's happening today? January 4th, price hikes for the MTA. Bus fare will be more expensive. And this is some of the signage where it explains exactly what is going to be changing within the bus fare today. Mamdani also said that...
Now, I'm going to stop her right there right quick. He ran on the campaign saying it was going to be free bus fare, but he raised, not only did it not be free, he raised the cost of bus fare. You can't make this up. So heading into midterms, keep this in mind. They lie to your face, and the next day, your bus fare get raised. That was immediate. Like you can't get no more immediate than that. But I'm telling you, a lot of these people gonna still vote Democrat. See, this ain't the same Democratic Party from back in the day. This ain't the Bill Clinton Democratic Party. This ain't that. This is something totally different. These people have lost their everlasting mind.
That in order to pay for this and to offset that money, he was going to put an extra, I think it was like 1 or 2% of tax on the top 1% in New York City. And again, Kathy Hochul struck this down, saying, I am not going to tax our 1% any more than I'm already doing. They already pay about 50%. They're already taxed more than anyone. They don't want to tell you that, but that's the truth. And guess what? The wealthier individuals have the means and the resources to up and leave if they're being taxed too much. So where does that go? If you're going to make this happen, that money is going to have to trickle down to the middle class, as it typically always does, just as California. One of Zohran Mamdani's...
Exactly. You can look at every major Democratic city across the country, and it's the same. That's how we can call it out. It's the same pattern. California, Chicago. You know, you look at it's the same playbook. You know, every major city, and the Democrats pretty much control every major city. Like, what happens? They talk about tax the rich. That backfires. Now, in Florida, which is a Republican-ran state, they just got rid of property taxes. But in Democrat states like New York, Virginia, Chicago, if they haven't raised property taxes, they talking about raising your property taxes. For the average taxpaying citizen that's not rich, I thought you was going to tax the rich. I'm not rich. Why are you taxing me? But see, the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. Now, I want to bring up this last video before I'm done with this, because I think it's imperative that I do my due diligence to remind people. And this is a very small platform, but I'm doing the best I can to spread the word. So share the live, spread the information that you get, even if you don't share the live. Encourage people to go out here and not vote Democrat right about now. Democrats got to get their life. They got to get their life because they trying to tax us to oblivion, right? We trying to get away from that. We need a break as American citizens. We've been through too much. It's a surprise that we survived through the 4 years of Joe Biden. that we still got a country, a remnants of a country. We can't forget that. And I'm here to remind you, and let this rock out.
Joe Rogan has some thoughts on Mamdani's spending plans, which reportedly include $1.2 billion for migrants coming to New York City.
I mean, he's a psychopath. Like the amount for migrants is crazy. There should be $0 for illegal immigrants. But zero.
New York socialist mayor Zohran Mamdani feeling the heat and facing brutal backlash after announcing his record $127 billion budget. Mamdani's plan includes raising property taxes by 9.5% on New York's.
Woo! You see this? Now you go back to that little video where he was doing his little promo to run for office. He was talking about how he gonna make life more affordable, right? Property tax 9.5%, 1.2 billion for illegal immigrants. If this dude is not Brandon Johnson on steroids, my original assessment of this man was correct. I tried to give him a little bit of grace in other videos, but no, you got to go with your first mind. My gut instinct, and it always shows the pattern, just like over there in Virginia. They make all these promises. Let's run this back, because midterms around the corner. This administration, Trump, is not perfect. It's things that I don't like, but I would rather deal with Trump than to deal with this.
Joe Rogan has some thoughts on Mamdani's spending plans, which reportedly include $1.2 billion for migrants coming to New York City.
I mean, he's a psychopath. Like the amount for migrants is crazy. There should be $0 for illegal immigrants. But zero.
New York socialist mayor Zohran Mamdani feeling the heat and facing brutal backlash after announcing his record $127 billion budget. Mamdani's plan includes raising property taxes by 9.5% on New York City residents, while allocating $1.2 billion for migrants.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani, you are out your goddamn mind. To want to raise our property taxes in Southeast Queens all across the city.
Mayor, you came in with a good talk, but you're not walking the good walk. The water went up, the gas went up, light bill went up. Now property taxes? What exactly are we doing here? Do your job.
Now you see this? Go out there and protest that's reactionary. If y'all wouldn't have never voted for if y'all would have listened to Chicago Flips Red, we've been through it already. Just the last couple years, we tried to warn the rest of the country, specifically black and brown communities. We tried to warn you. We saw it. You didn't listen to us. You called us coons. You called us every name in the book, Uncle Tom's. Black conservatives, y'all just all up Trump and all. Man, listen, we heard it all. But when it boiled down to policy, this is what you're going to get every time. Now they out there protesting their own decision. Once again, what did the title say? Elections have consequences. And these are the consequences of your vote, or your vote to not vote, or your right to not vote. Virginia and New York, yeah, they found out. Let's run this back a little bit, man. And we hearing from the people. And I'm trying to drill this home to y'all, because midterms are around the corner. We got to get out and vote, and we got to not vote for no dang on Democrat.
While allocating $1.2 billion for migrants.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani, you are out your goddamn mind. To want to raise our property taxes in Southeast Queens all across the city. Mayor, you came in with a good talk, but you're not walking the good walk. The water went up, the gas went up, light bill went up. Now property taxes? What exactly are we doing here? Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
This budget that he put together, he is merely focused on illegals.
He is not focused on the American people. He is not focused on the taxpayer.
Do this not sound familiar to you? He focused on illegals. He focused on illegal immigrants, not the taxpayers. He's using the taxpayers to get the money and the resources to the illegals.
If he accomplishes raising the New York City property tax, it is going to be a domino effect, and the Black community will feel it first.
So the mayor of
Zohran Mamdani, congratulations. Congratulations. Because let me tell you something. You voted for this. We tried to warn you. So I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear no crying. I don't want to hear nothing, but we gonna do better next time. And try to warn the next city or state next to you to not fall off into the same trap that you fell off into. Bring this down. Okay? Elections have consequences. Virginia and New York just found out in a real way what those consequences are. Higher taxes, more of the same. They ran on a campaign talking about affordability. But in reality, they just made your state more unaffordable. Whenever you hear people say these same slogans talking about we're going to tax the rich, whenever you hear these politicians promising you a whole bunch of free stuff, these are red flags, right? But hey, what say you? It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. We love y'all. And until next time, we should see you soon. Peace and blessings.